an arduous journey to get you to this point. And I just want to challenge you as you start on this journey. There are many opportunities that you will get either in private practice or in the public that require you to stand out and make a difference. There is a lot of whining, complaining, and many issues in society. But if you did your part, if I did my part, whether you're in private practice, you're in the public sector, in whatever field, you can be sure that we are going to make a difference in our country. This is our country. We don't have another country. And it is upon you, it is upon me to determine that where I am placed, where I'll find myself, I'm going to make the difference. So rather than join the vast majority of people that like to complain and whine, ask yourself, what difference can I make? Because if you do your part, and we all do our part, we will all make this country a better place. So I wish you well, I wish you God's blessings, and I trust that you will have a wonderful career ahead of you. It's my singular pleasure now to welcome the Honorable, the Deputy Chief Justice, to make her remarks, and thereafter invite the Honorable, the Chief Justice, to make her remarks. My lady, the Deputy Chief Justice.
My lady, the Honorable, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, who is also the President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, my sister Jacinta from the ODPP, my brother Lawrence from the AG's office, Paul from our office, and Mercy from the LSK. And you, our guest today, good morning. Good morning, the newest advocates in town. Today is the most important day of your career. It is the most important because today you have the power to practice. I want to say just two things. The first is this. Ours is called the learned profession because we are forever learning. So you have only begun. And I want to urge you to do one thing only. From today going forward, please do the right thing, no matter how inconvenient it may be. Please do the right thing, no matter how inconvenient it might be. And therefore, it is not too late to step back today. If there be any doubt in your mind that you're going to do the right thing, as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, that you're not going to let God down, you're not going to let your parents down, you're not going to let society down that brought you this far, and most of all, that you're not going to let yourself down. If there be any doubt in your mind that it's going to be difficult to do the right thing, no matter how inconvenient it may be, today is the day to turn back. But I doubt that you came all this long distance to start turning back today. So no matter how inconvenient it's going to be, and it's going to be inconvenient in a lot of instances, just do the right thing. That's the first thing. The second thing is, today is important to you as it is to my lady, the Honorable the Chief Justice of the Republic, because it is the first day she gets to admit a whole 97 advocates to the bar. Now, if you let yourself down, please don't let the Honorable the Chief Justice down. Don't let the first complaints to the Law Society and to the Disciplinary Committee be from these 97 that are seated here. And don't be the person who will allow any kind of complaint, except a malicious one and except a false one, to ever be brought against you. My sisters and brothers, learned sisters and brothers, welcome to the most honorable profession there is. The only person who is going to keep it honorable is you. If you don't, we shall be waiting on this side. It was on me, and it is my pleasure and duty to invite the Chief Justice to speak to us. Please listen. To speak to us. Just listen to what she will have to say. Please see me after this admission session if she says anything you have never heard before. Because I haven't seen her speak, but I know she's going to tell you what you already know. What you have been taught for this long, what has prepared you to be an advocate. Parting shot, do the right thing no matter how inconvenient it may be. Don't let yourself down. Don't let the Chief Justice down. Don't let God down. We shall know you by your fruits. My Lady, the Honorable the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable Martha Koome, please come and talk to us. And well done. I was waiting for that. Very well done. You already have passed the first test.
Let us be seated. Thank you very much. My lady, my sister, the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice. Indeed, today is a great day for me because it is the first time I'm performing this role of admitting new advocates. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of the representative of the Attorney General, the representative from the office of the DPP, and the CEO of LSK, our Deputy Chief Registrar, our parents, friends, and relatives who are watching these proceedings online, and our chief guests this morning, you, the Muiruri and Muiruri advocates. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
Where I come from, we believe in greeting people twice, or even thrice, to be sure that we connect. And I really want to connect with you this morning as I congratulate you most warmly on your signing the role of advocates as advocates of the High Court of Kenya. I see how you look gracious, impeccably dressed. You look great. I urge you to continue looking like this when you appear in court, when you are required to be robed. wear those robes with grace and honor, because you worked very hard for them and you traveled this journey for them. So when you appear in court, let none of you, the 97 of you who are here, be turned away by the judge because you just borrowed the bib on your way to court and came hanging it on your neck. Because we have had to turn away advocates who are not properly robed, and to remind them, do you remember the day you were sworn in as advocates? This is how you robe all the time. So for this group of 97, we are going to walk this journey because I'm only 3 months old in the office. I'm going to consider you as my age mates. As you walk in the profession, I'll be walking in the office of the Chief Justice. So we will be working together in this profession to make it better. And I welcome you anytime you have any issue. You can always consult me, consult my office, consult my sister here, the Deputy Chief Justice. We will be willing to work with you hand in hand and to support you in the profession. Today, no doubt, marks an important moment in your careers. Admission to the role of advocates is a great turning point for all of us who aspire to be members of this legal profession. It of course marks a transition from a period focused on studies in preparation for admission to the bar to being able to practice what you have been studying. And this does not mean that the period of studies comes to an end. And I wish to associate myself with the very profound words of encouragement, of advice that you have been given, especially by the Deputy Chief Justice, who has told you that today you are called the learned friend because you are expected to continuously study as a member of the bar. You have been told to give your best to everything that you do, even the smallest thing that you are asked to do. Please give it your best. And look at it and wonder whether it is sustainable, the thing that you are doing. If it is a printing you are drawing, look at it and ask whether it can succeed, that it can pass the test of the law. The law is ever evolving, and the ideal lawyer must keep abreast with the law and other developments in the society. Allow me also to use this opportunity to share with you the reflections on what I think should form part of your aspirations and goals as you join the legal profession. It is not in doubt that in the contemporary world that we live, among the most sought aspirations that underlies most people's deepest motivations and implicates their insecurities is the attainment of success. We all want to be successful, and indeed we should be successful because God created us in His image and has given us tremendous promises of why we should be successful. We should aim for nothing else but success. But as we aim for this success, we should never take shortcuts. As I said, let us always ask ourselves what we are doing, whether it is successful. Today we all look up to the Constitution of 2010, which has something for all of us. Not only us, but everybody in the society. In common expression within Kenyan social cycles, success is often defined in terms of acquisition of wealth, power, and prestige. And as a lawyer, and even the previous speakers have alluded to this, you will hear it being expressed that a lawyer who has achieved relatively high level of financial security and who commands widespread name recognition and influences and influence is a successful lawyer. But to me, this is not the sole criteria for identification of a successful lawyer in this country, and even looking at our post-constitution era, which is now 11 years. When we gave ourselves this new constitution, which is the heart and soul of our socio-political and legal system, and it articulates who we are as a nation and who we aspire to become. It means that to be a model citizen and lawyer, according to our constitution, we must comport with the value system articulated in the constitution, which many of us also who are religious know is found in our religious instructions. The guiding right of the constitutional value system is the intention of establishing a society that is socially just, a society that looks at itself and looks at everybody and ensures everybody is able to realize their full potential. The constitutional goal of creating a just social order will only be realized when all of our citizens, including those of us in the legal profession, embrace the required ways of conduct which is required of us in the society. And I've heard you being advised not only to pursue your legal career without looking at the society. And Mr. Wanjara was emphatic that we need to give back to the society. We need to sign to the pro bono register to be called upon to represent the less privileged. The required standard of conduct for an advocate in such a just society order includes living also by higher values of professional, personal, and social ethics. In terms of professional ethics for the lawyer in the post-2010 dispensation, includes embracing higher standards of lawyering. And I've mentioned, it doesn't matter how small a brief you have, please look at it critically. Prepare your pleadings properly, draw them properly, look at the law, research, and look at precedents, what has happened before the one that you are drawing. It means as lawyers, you have to be part of the process of developing constitutionally decreed indigenous social justice jurisprudence by availing to judges and judicial officers arguments and relevant legal materials on the latest learning in the law. And you also have to be part of the solution of the problem of the case backlog and delayed delivery of justice by ensuring that you abandon the age-old practices of unnecessary adjournment and delay of the hearing of the cases. Please don't get into the practice of delaying the conclusion of cases. We want to eliminate the terms like stood over general. We want to embrace active case management where the court takes charge of the case and concludes. So for this group of 97, we expect vibrancy from you. When you come to court, you will be coming to assist us finalize the cases that are pending in court. For that you should say amen, because you are the ones to set standards. In addition, you must embrace the constitutionally envisaged shift to focusing on the merit of cases rather than unnecessary interlocutory and technical applications that has contributed to the delay in the resolution of cases. You should embrace also, and I've heard the other speakers talk about, the multi-door approach to delivery of justice. we are trying to empower our society to focus on social justice, to access to justice by letting Kenyans know that they are agents for themselves to resolve even problems that they encounter. They are also problem solvers. So we use these multi-door approaches, utilize the small claims courts that we hope to cascade to every jurisdiction. We also embrace alternative systems of justice and alternative dispute resolution in addressing social grievances. When people encounter problems, they can solve those problems through those multi-door approaches. And coming to court can also be a matter of last resort when we have tried those alternative means of solving problems. So as you come to the profession, you have the choices to make: to join the bar, to join the bench, and to join these other multiple systems that we have of resolving disputes. Allow me to say something about personal ethics. There are two concerns that a successful advocate ought to bear in mind in this dispensation. The first one is civility in your interaction with members of the bench and colleagues in the bar. And I thank the representative of the Attorney General for speaking to this. Because, allow me to call you my children, my daughters, my sons. Because indeed you are. You are actually the age of my children. It doesn't cost you anything to be humble and to be civil. But it costs you everything to be uncivil to one another. Because it costs you anger, and it costs the other person anger, hatred, and you don't have to do that. The concern here is that whilst robust engagement expressing a different opinion and point of view is encouraged and should be embraced, we should always disagree with respect. The second concern related to personal ethics is about ethics in your financial dealings. This is a big teaching we have to engage in, especially in the legal profession. Because money is important, but you will come to realize when you get to my age that it doesn't mean much as long as you can be able to get your daily requirements, send your children to school. The rest of the excesses do not mean much because they may not bring you peace and tranquility that you need to thrive in life. Unfortunately, we have had cases in the past that involve unethical advocates who deprive clients of the proceeds from the conveyance that they do, that they undertake for the clients, or litigation briefs. Say somebody has been involved in a personal injury claim and they have never received their proceeds from the decree of the court. Such unethical conduct goes against the ethic of what we call in Kenya utu. In Kemero we call it omuntu, that underlies our constitutional order. I hope yours will be the generation of lawyers that puts a stop to church practices, and no one from this group of 97 of advocates will be struck off the roll of advocates that you have joined today due to such acts of professional misconduct. This is indeed my prayer, that none of you will meet such a misadventure in your practice. Lastly, in terms of social ethics, a successful advocate ought to contribute socially beneficial services to the society. And there is a lot you can do. You can plug in many ways. There is so much to be done more than the doers we can find. I participate as a champion and defender of children's rights. And I can assure you in that area, in the communities that you live in, your Nyumba Kumi, there is always a need for a child to be held their hand, for a teenager to be talked to, for the youth to be spoken to be encouraged, to be mentored. There is always something for us to do for this society to pull another one. Therefore, a successful advocate is expected to play a role in furthering our constitutional goals of social inclusion and access to justice. Because in the same communities, you'll also find people who are in dire need of legal advice. And you can organize yourselves as the law class of 2001 admission in September 13 to form a group that can give legal aid. And we will come out to support you. There's so much you can do. Following from this, I urge you to be ready to go the extra mile to ensure that the vulnerable in our society, for example, also the victims of gender-based violence, every time we turn our papers or we listen to radio or TV, we are pounded by the number of children, vulnerable people who are victims of violence. We are pounded by the disproportionate number of our people who are suffering from many vulnerabilities, some requiring legal aid, even persons with disabilities, persons from the minority, marginalized communities are all in need of accessing justice. And we are there to plug in and support them. In effect, my message is that while attainment of professional eminence and financial success in itself is noble and should not be thwarted, such success devoid of ethical conduct is hollow aspiration. In the post-2010 dispensation, more is expected of advocates and a narrow or minimalist approach to success that is focused solely on higher financial prospects misses the mark. We will pursue success and financial success, but we will also be mindful of our society to give back. Therefore, my plea to you is that you should conduct yourselves in a manner that upholds professional, personal, and social ethics. I wish you all the best, and I pray that God will shine His light upon you every day to right that right in the profession. All the best, and God bless you.
Thank you, Chief Justice. You may be seated shortly. That we've come to the end of our formal session. I told you it will not be long. I promised you that. And I want to thank the entire bench, led by the Honorable the Chief Justice, for this opportunity.